Welcome to the Don't Judge, Just Love podcast, where we talk about all the things with no judgment.
Only love.
I'm Chase Willardson, here with my beautiful wife, Shannon Willardson. And today, what are we going to talk about today, Shannon?
We're going to talk about how we divide responsibilities within our family. The division of household responsibilities, family responsibilities, life responsibilities within our family, and what that dynamic looks like for us.
Absolutely. And we know that it's different for everybody. And so this is just kind of a little bit of a snapshot into what it looks like for us, how it works for us. And let's dive into it. What are some of the questions to help us to understand how do the Willardsons share the load?
Yes, Chase. All right, we thought we would just jump into a little bit of a list of Chase's main.
I'm making her laugh.
I don't know what it is about his face right now. I kind of just want to punch it every time I look at it. See how this conversation can sometimes heat things up.
We talk about sharing the load.
How do we? How do you divide and conquer? No, but we thought maybe the best way to approach this would be to just go through kind of a list of things that we have to do on a daily basis, or that we share responsibilities for in our family, in our life, and just kind of talk about who does what, straight up style. Okay. All right. So Chase, who does the cooking?
So I do the cooking.
Obviously me.
Shannon doesn't really like to cook.
Is a gourmet cook, is what he meant to say.
Yet. She doesn't like to cook yet, because maybe at some point in her life she will enjoy cooking, or maybe not. But either way, I enjoy cooking. And so I enjoy trying new recipes. I enjoy, making meals. And it's just something that it's a good balance between us, because Shannon doesn't enjoy it, and I do. Shannon can make a mean bowl of cereal. I'm trying. You have made things throughout the years, and when we think about recipes from different food companies, you've definitely made some of those as well. But yeah, so I usually do the cooking.
It's true. I despise cooking. I hate it. So this does work really well because Chase actually really enjoys it. So Chase cooks, although, you know what? I'm going to be really honest. When we say that, I don't want anyone to give this guy too much credit.
Wait a minute.
He is a great cook, but it's not like he's there at the stove whipping up some 4 or 5 course meal every night.
Usually it's something pretty simple. Yeah.
Or we eat out a lot, you guys. I'm just going to we keep it real. We keep it real in here. We eat out a lot. It's actually something that we're trying to work on because it's not unusual for us to order dinner or go get dinner 3-4 times a week. Would you agree with that?
That's probably true.
I mean,
I feel like there's been weeks where we've been much better than others. And I feel like recently we've done better than others. But when, if I'm out of town or we have, a lot of things going. Oh my gosh. Is this episode going to be so bad? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not wrong. If he's out of town, then I'm not going to lie. It's a lot more. Even when Chase is in town, though, we do order out a lot.
We're trying to get better about that, though.
We're trying to do better about that. It definitely helps us. We've done a lot of meal service, subscriptions, and those have been awesome because those are recipes that even I can handle, and it's super easy for Chase to just whip those up. But yeah, Chase is definitely the resident cook in our operation, but we do eat out a lot. So that wasn't to take anything away from you. I love your cooking. I love you so much.
So who does the cleaning?
All right. So again, I feel like I would definitely say the cleaning falls more to me. That being said, again, full transparency, we do have a house cleaner. They come twice a month. So
once a month?
No.
But once a month?
No. It's every other week. Are you unaware of that?
No, I thought we were only doing once a month.
Every other week. It's twice a month.
No, because I thought we talked about them only doing it once a month, and that's...
We talked about... This is so awesome. We talked about every week or every other week, and we chose every other week.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't come every other week.
Anyway, Chase and I couldn't figure this out
What?
off camera, but we do have a house cleaner. She does come every other week. Okay. Update. Chase and I literally stopped the camera so that we could text our house cleaner to confirm whether it was every other week or every month, once a month. And she said every other week. Ha ha. Booyah! I was right.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, that was fun. Okay.
So every other week, we have someone coming to help.
We have
do
a house
kind of a
cleaner.
deep clean of the house.
Yes, she is amazing. She's a good friend of ours. And she does, yes, she cleans everything. It's like the deep cleaning. And then obviously we, try to pick up during the week and stuff like that, which falls a little bit more to me. Chase is really good about doing the dishes because I hate doing the dishes. So he usually handles that. He's really good about taking out the trash. Like some of those things that it's like we have sort of learned the things that each other
like and dislike.
Yes, there you go. And I feel like you've been really great about taking on the things
and so have you.
Thanks, honey. Oh my gosh. Chase is good about collapsing the boxes
taking them to the dump
in the garage. Yeah, taking them to the dump when they don't fit in the recycling. So that's that. How do we divide and conquer?
Real quick, also keeping it real. We also, our nanny helps cleaning stuff up for the kids.
Yeah.
And then you have a personal assistant that will come over every once in a while as well, to help with laundry and some of the other things that we have around the house as well. So there is other help in addition to.
Laundry is its own thing on this.
Its own thing. Cool.
So
I'm excited to talk about that later.
I'm really glad you added that too.
Okay, next one.
No, it's definitely true. We have lots of help, and they do also help for sure. Like pick up the house and just keep things in order. All right. How do we divide and conquer on stuff with the girls? How would you answer that, Chase?
Well, we have our nanny that's full time. So during the day, because we both work full time, she's helping out during the day, like the normal kind of working hours, but her schedule is usually, I guess, depends on the day, right? But 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. And then outside of those hours, how do we divide that up? I would say like feeding them and formula. Like actually that's Shannon's job is, and she can say this better than I can, but you're never like off the clock. Like there's always stuff to do. And oftentimes when she's like posting or when it's most convenient to share her content is in the evenings as well. And so I'll usually help with the third or fourth feeding in the evening and also giving them meds, changing them.
Well, so we have a nice, fun, kind of weird system. Because yes, our nanny is here during the day. Like Chase said, because we both work full time, that was one of our main motives in hiring a full-time nanny so that she could, take a lot of that on during the daytime working hours so that we could work full time. But then at night, it's, obviously on us. So we have this funny system where I'm a total night owl, Chase not so much. And so I will go and hunker down and try to get a bunch of other work done at night, stay up super late. Chase hits a wall and falls asleep like
early.
I don't know,
10,
9
11.
or 10 o'clock. And it's almost like he takes this power nap, like 3 or 4 hour power nap or something. And then we'll wake up and do the last feed. Like our last feed tends to be pretty late for the girls. And then comes into our room, into bed. Because I'll be in our room working in our bed, and he will be out on the couch where he fell asleep around 9 o'clock. And then he comes in late at night. And that's kind of how that works. Is that weird? Are we weird? And then on the weekends, I feel like it's just kind of...
we just kind of share.
Yeah, it's very shared. It's very based on like what's going on or who needs to go where. With Jack, our son Jack is in a whole bunch of sports and activities and stuff. So we kind of divide and conquer on like who goes with him to those sports and who stays here at the house with the girls. So that can kind of, affect who does what with the girls.
Other thing that I just thought of, appointments. Is that another question as
That's
well?
another one. Yeah. Yeah. Who goes to appointments for the girls?
So because my job is more kind of a 9 to 5 job, Shannon usually goes to those appointments for the girls. So PT, OT,
doctor's appointments. The girls have so many doctor's appointments. They have
GI.
They have like
respiratory,
5 specialists: neurology, GI, urology, pulmonology, and then just their general pediatrician. Yeah, and that is almost always me. But that brings up a good point. I do feel like a lot of our division of responsibilities has kind of unfolded somewhat organically based on our availability, based on our jobs. Since Chase and I both work full time, it kind of, happened really organically that we would divide and conquer equally. And I feel like we do a decent job of that. Of kind of, there's sort of this, which, like, in my opinion, this is how it should be regardless, right? Like, just in marriages, you tag team it together, like, and gender roles are not a thing anymore, right? So, but I feel like that has happened pretty organically for us, just because we are both working full time. So it's never been like, well, I work, so, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah.
But to that point, because of the flexibility that my job offers, whereas yours is more of a standard 9 to 5, mine is more flexible, but more around the clock. A lot of how we divide and conquer is based on that, I feel like. Right? Don't you feel like that?
I think it does. And I think we've learned that, over time. I don't think I think, just based on who's available and time of day, I think that's really what has
for sure. Okay.
helped us with that.
Who usually puts Jack to bed, would you say?
You do. You usually put him to bed.
Yeah. I usually do Jack duty.
And I'll be holding one of the girls, usually Ava or Charlie, getting them ready for bed. Yeah,
so that's how we kind of divide and conquer on bedtime. The girls don't have, like a standard bedtime routine so much. And to be honest, like even their sleep schedule can be a bit erratic. Mm-hmm. Charlie's is more regular. Like she tends to fall asleep around the same time every night, I would say. Ava's is all over the place, which is fine. They're not typically developing. We tried to do a nighttime routine with them early on, and it was just like, this does not work for them. And that's okay. We wouldn't expect that because they're not typically developing. But because of that, Chase will usually hold whichever of the girls is needing to be held, while I put Jack to bed. And then we usually kind of either do some type of transfer situation. We either try to transfer them to their beds, mm-hmm. or they'll come into my office, which is
our bedroom, and
which
hang
is
out with
our
Shannon
bedroom.
as she's working.
And hang out with me while I work. Charlie's a really good assistant. Favorite little assistant. All right. What else on here, Chase? Who does the planning? Family planning. I would say that's really equal.
Yeah.
That's something that we are trying to get better with as well. We had this goal to have like a weekly family meeting where we did like a weekly planning session, and Chase and I would also plan and kind of look at our week and what was coming up and what type of work I had going on.
When we have done it, it's been amazing.
It's freaking awesome.
It is so awesome.
Highly recommend. For the record, we got that idea. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people who have talked about this, but I heard that idea originally from Ralphie Jacobs. Her account is at Simply on Purpose. It's a parenting account. Love her content. Awesome. But she was the one who kind of talked about family meetings at least once a week. We haven't been as consistent with that as we would like, but when we have done it, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty shared between the two of us.
And then I think with the other thing that so Jack is involved in quite a few things. He's in baseball, soccer, basketball, garage band, piano lessons.
He's in a lot.
What else? Yeah, I'm sure there's other things too. But so he's involved in a lot, and so we will kind of again take turns.
I think that's another
depending
one.
on the schedule, and if you have something that's due that evening or due the next day. Then we'll kind of trade off. Like I went to Jack's baseball game yesterday, but last week Shannon went to his baseball game, and we went to his basketball game. Was that on Friday of last week? Or no, when was that?
Sometime last week.
Sometime
Friday.
Last week.
Yeah, that's a pretty even divide as well, I would say, just based on availability. When we can, we like to both go to his things.
Bring the girls as well. Everybody comes.
We try to be conscious of we don't want Jack to always feel like he's only getting one parent because someone has to stay home with the girls. That being said, I think there's also, that's a reality with a lot of families that have multiple kids, right?
Totally. You have to divide and conquer, multiple
the
sports at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we try to appease our guilt about it by reminding ourselves of that.
We want to take a second and talk about Family Made, the network. It's the network that makes this podcast and so many others happen.
Yes, I'm sure y'all have heard of Shawn Johnson, the incredible former Olympic gold medalist, someone I have admired for many years, by the way, and her husband, Andrew East. But what you may not know about them is that they actually started Family Made as a way to get you excited about family life and connect you with resources that support you along your journey.
And if you're loving our show, which we hope you are, you need to check out the other shows Family Made Media has on their website. There's shows that touch on just about everything a relationship or family could go through, so you'll find shows that you can relate to.
For sure. I could not agree more, Chase. Head over to familymade.com to check out the list. There's shows about literally everything, y'all. Adoption, raising large families, marriage struggles, addiction, special needs, hot topics, family values, inspiring stories, and so much more.
There really is something for everyone, so go check out familymade.com to learn more. It's such a good resource no matter what season of family life you're in.
All right, what else, Chase?
I think phone calls about medical stuff, that's definitely you.
Yeah. But, okay, here's a huge one. I can't believe this is on the list. Who manages all of our finances, family finances? That is 100% Chase. I would be screwed.
No, she would do just fine.
Oh, no. She wouldn't. I will openly admit that. Yeah, Chase handles literally every aspect of our financial lives. And that's probably not a good thing. We're very aware that I need to have more awareness and, awareness, really, that's the word, into those things. That's another area I just hate. I'm just like, ugh, you deal with it. So he does. God bless him.
What else?
Yeah, you do well. You do well with that. I feel like anything householdy, meaning if something breaks, if there's something to do with the yard, if there's any type of I don't know, handyman type of situation, that is also Chase, 100%.
I don't want to give myself too much credit for that. If there is something that breaks, for example, this was a couple months ago, where one of our faucets, I feel like it was a faulty design, but the way, if it was just turned on a little bit from when Jack was brushing his teeth. Remember the water dripped down and it dripped down the wall, and all of a sudden in our bathroom, I think it'd been leaking for a day, and all of a sudden in our bathroom, water started dripping pretty heavily from the ceiling, from our light. And I was like, what is going on? So we ran upstairs and turned it off, but it was just because it was the faucet where it came down. It wasn't far enough away from the counter.
Off, and then
so it just kind of dripped and went down the back.
And it was dripping onto the counter.
Yeah.
And then spreading all over the counter.
It was awesome. Anyways, I didn't fix that, but I did call people that came to fix it with fans and other things, but it's all good. All worked out. It was a good learning lesson.
For sure. I feel like you handle everything related to cars, all the car stuff. which is great. I really appreciate that. Who coordinates things? Signs Jack up for sports, coordinates stuff with the doctors, stuff like that. Yeah, that is me.
Shannon does. She's awesome at it. With everything else that's going on, she is still able to manage the schedules of the rest of the family.
Thanks, honey.
Look at you just coordinating. Color coordinating and coordinating everything for our family.
Cringe? We're so cringe right now.
How corny was that? It was good though. It was good.
That was good. That was
right?
good dad
You like
joke.
that?
I liked it. Yeah, it's true. Most of the coordination, I would say, I do take care of. But I feel like we're good about checking in with each other on things. Are we? I guess I signed Jack up for stuff without talking to you about it.
Yeah.
To that point, here's a good example. I made the mistake of signing Jack up for, so this spring season, he was signed up for soccer, baseball, and basketball, all three things, and this little garage band thing he does. And it was because I did not realize he did soccer last fall. And when I signed him up for that, I did not realize that I was signing him up for 2 seasons. I thought it was only for the fall-winter season. And then spring rolls around and I start getting texts again about soccer. And I'm like, what's going on? Come to find out, when I had originally signed him up, I was signing him up for spring season as well. And at that point, I had already also signed him up for baseball and basketball. So that was really freaking wild.
Practices overlapped.
Oh my gosh, it was awful.
Games overlapped.
Eventually, we just ended up having to cut,
Soccer.
quit one of them. Yeah, he chose to step away from soccer. But
he gave it the boot.
Nice. Good pun. Anyway, so it doesn't always work out perfectly, but, we try. What else? What else are we not thinking of?
Trips, like vacations and stuff.
Yeah.
Family vacations.
So I do the packing. Chase does the packing the car, loading the car. I usually book things.
She usually books the hotel. I usually book the rental car.
Yeah, that's true. Chase, I tried to have Chase book the hotel once, and he got demoted from that role because the one time I asked him to do it, it was a great deal. So
screaming deal. And we stayed at this hotel
we literally almost died.
No, we didn't.
Yes.
There was just this one hotel that, we stayed at that was not the nicest hotel and wasn't totally finished.
Were taking place,
and
there
we
were
don't know if drug deals were really taking place
in the walls where you could see outside. I'm pretty sure we found blood on the mattress or on the carpet near the bed.
Someone probably got a bloody nose.
Real creepy stuff. And I was like, dude, never again.
So
never again.
Ever since then, Shannon has not let me choose the hotel.
Love you, honey. It's okay.
Love you too.
Can't be good at everything. Okay. What else? Are we forgetting anything? I don't know. I think that in our minds, the value of sharing all of this was simply to acknowledge the fact that this is one of the, it's just one of the realities of marriage, right? That there's a lot going on when you're creating a family together and you're joining 2 different lives. It's just a lot to navigate, dividing all those responsibilities. And I think it can be a big source of, potential contention and just strife if you let it be. We've certainly had those moments, again, just keeping it real, where it's been where we've had our little disagreements or whatever. But I think it's just really important to find a good balance and find a groove where you feel like you're sharing those responsibilities equally and where you're really supporting each other. I feel like for Chase and I, that has unfolded fairly organically, but not without, intentional conversations either. And I think that would be one of our tips, if we had any tips about this, is to have those types of conversations really openly.
Have a conversation about expectations, share your preferences.
Yeah, talk about it. Talk about, exactly that. Your expectations, how how you need to be supported, how you feel you could be supported better. Um, and again, we've mentioned this on other podcasts, but I feel like a big turning point for Chase and I was early on in our marriage. Was really, I feel like it was right after we had Jack. Um, we kind of felt ourselves going into sort of a taking,
Tallying.
yeah, like why can't I think of, what am I trying to say?
It's
Taking
like,
tabs. That's what I'm
yeah,
trying to
taking
say.
tabs, yeah.
Like taking tab situation where of like who was doing what, and sort of
I did this, and this.
yeah, like it's your turn. I just did it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we had to just like have a conversation about that, just point blank address it, because we realized like, ooh, that could get ugly really fast, and that wasn't the vibe or the feeling that we wanted to have in our marriage and in our family. And so now it's not to say that that never happens anymore, but I think we try to just be a little more chill about, like to not think of it that way. And we're in it together. If anyone is ever feeling that way, we talk about it. And ultimately, we try to just tackle it all as a team.
Totally. I think the second tip that I would say is, and again, we by no means are perfect at this, but when we have done the family planning or even just sharing of our calendars, we do share our calendars with each other. And so we're aware of different appointments or different meetings that other people have. And so being aware of that and making sure that the other person has ample time to prep for that or be available for that, or, whatever needs to be done to make sure the other person can succeed with whatever important meeting is in front of them. Why are you laughing?
For so many reasons. Well, because I feel like you and I have had to grow in that area so much. Like
Totally.
we've both been really bad in different ways with that. Like I know I am really bad about sticking to any type of schedule. Terrible at that, honestly. I'm not great at like if Chase and I say, hey, we're going to do like if we have to do something together, i.e. recording a podcast, and we say, this is when we're going to do it, there is absolutely no guarantee whatsoever that I will actually be ready at that time. Probably not. I don't know if it's ever happened. On the other hand, you've gotten so much better with this, but Chase used to do this thing where he would just forget to tell me about like
Maybe I told her when she was
about
sleeping.
things that are kind of a big deal. Like he'd be going out of town on a trip, and he would tell me like a couple of days before, or there were times when like I would find out because I'd overhear him
talking to someone else.
I'd overhear him talking about it to someone else. Like my mom's there hanging out at the house, and he says something to her about it, and I'm like, whoa, excuse me? When are you going out of town? And it'd be like this deer in the headlights moment of being like, I told you that. And I'd be like, no, you didn't. You've gotten way better at that. Anyway. So that's another development area for us, but it does definitely make a difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then I think the other thing is just acknowledging when someone else does something.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so when Shannon does something and goes out of my way.
Being grateful.
Yeah. I think that always goes a long way. Just showing your appreciation for anything that the other person does. Everything counts.
For sure. I do have one other tip. Also just recognizing like times and seasons, right? Like in the sense that there will be moments where your partner is super stressed. Work is particularly overwhelming, like more so than usual. We try to be good about, not that we're perfect at this, but we try to be good about like, if there is a period where it's extra busy at work for Chase or extra busy for me, we step in and we're willing to do more than usual, so to speak, or maybe we're willing to do tasks that the other partner tends to do typically, to just kind of try to lighten that load for them.
Totally.
And again, all in the spirit of like, overall, we're in this together. Like, let's support each other in whatever way is needed at that time. So lots of room for growth here. But those are some of the things that have helped us evolve over the course of our marriage and made that division of responsibilities go a bit more smoothly, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the Willardsons share the load and responsibilities.
We want to know, how does it work for you guys? So come engage with us on our social media, at Shannon Willardson on Instagram, the Willardson family on YouTube, at Shannon Willardson on TikTok. And then you can listen to our podcast anywhere where you listen to podcasts. The Family Made YouTube channel, the Family Made Podcast Network. It's all right there. Spotify, Apple, you name it. Thanks for being here, guys. We love you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.